And I think that's the thing that we really need to value is our uniqueness and our diversity and the common stuff that we're all interested in.
And I think the diversity of the valley is just fantastic, where you've got people that go back many years in the valley, others that have come from all over the world.
I don't feel the judgment, that social judgment. I don't feel it here because there's so much diversity that the judgments can't hold. They can't hold because it's proven different every time. And that's beautiful. I mean, that's the kind of life I want to live. That's the kind of community I want to be in.
A big community effort. We used to have these barbecues every Friday night. Pretty soon, it was not just our students. It was
them friends and yes,
and people from the town.
They made a big difference to this sort of a social structure.
And so they introduced various different things into our communities, and I think that actually has helped build our community.
The Midwinter Festival, the Cygnet Folk Festival as well. So these things are new, and a lot of those activities are linked to people who have come into the area.
There's a real joy to come somewhere where you feel that being who you are is enough. You don't have to do any more than be who you are and be accepted for that. And that's what I find here.
I've made some really good friends here. I've been through some very tough times here, and I think if I had been in the city, it would have been a very lonely experience. Whereas here, I have found that I've had support, sometimes from people that I didn't even know that well, and that's just made a real impression on me.
And the four of us were just sharing so deeply. Even first time we met, we were like, we know each other forever. You can make friends with them right away. Isn't that amazing?
Everybody knows all your chronic ailments, etc., whether you want them to know it or not.
Dr. Kyle, should never ever forget him, because my word, he done a lot for the valley, and he really did. When Mum went into labour with me, she was taken into Beaumont Hospital, and after a couple of days I was obviously not going to make a show, so he carried my mother down the stairs, put her in his car and drove her to Hobart. There was no ambulance at those days.
I said to her, "Who's the man that's singing?" I said, "Didn't think we had a man singing in our choir." And she looked at me, she said, "It's you."
I kind of feel like it takes a while to be a local down here.
I cannot dream of any more beautiful home for myself. But to adjust into the society, it takes a while.
We're a little bit uncertain, I guess, moving down as to how hard it would be to integrate. And of course it always takes a time to sort of make new friends and find your place in a community. But really it's lovely the way that we've been embraced.
And I've been through a bit of racism ever since I came to Australia. And when I arrived in Tasmania, I could feel it too. And then after all these years, it's nice to feel the change. So they're more, I think they're more welcoming especially in Huon Valley.
I think also when you get that whole thing of coming and from different angles in life, lots of different opinions and thought patterns and perspectives on life, with that you get more tolerance.
I would say that, yeah, the people I've associated with, especially here in the men's shed and that sort of thing, have just been stellar, incredible.
Generally, the quality of the people that live here is amazing, and if something happened, if you needed a hand, there'd be people be queuing up to give you a hand, and there's I think there's a strong sense of community. I think it's probably stronger in the further you get away from the centres, but I think it's the people, and then it's the in some ways the juxtaposition is the lack of people.
You're constantly bumping into people you know, and that's that community that where so many people know each other, it's a really warm thing.
In a busy city, people just don't have that time, whereas in the valley, people have got time to stop and say good day and have a bit of a yarn, and very welcoming, and just love it.
You know, if you can go and help someone, you do go and help someone. And some people I've noticed in the cities, they won't look at you. But yeah, in the country, you always say good day as you're walking down the street. You don't have to stop and talk, but you always acknowledge someone. Yeah.
And everyone in the street, all our direct neighbours are all just beautiful, welcoming, helpful, friendly.
If someone comes and says, "Oh, can you come and give us a hand to do so and so?" Oh yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I love the whole community, and because everyone talks to me and loves me and everything, and I always get spoken to.
And the neighbourhood and the collective nature of the people in Port Signet is really strong. It's strong creatively, culturally, and in terms of sailing. There's a really, really strong sailing community.
All the people that used to own the orchards are virtually buried, everybody. And those people were dedicated, hard workers. We have had great support from the people of the Huon Valley. They have been wonderful.
People like us could help people,
Yeah,
newly
we can
arrivals
too,
in
yeah.
the valley, to avoid making the same mistakes we made.
They're very supportive of each other when a family have a hardship or something like that, and then the community groups actually gather together and do something to have a fundraising for that family, and things, small things like that, which is actually big for the receiver.
One last thing that we could say to, as I call them, the move-ins, welcome.